Clearly, there's an enormous amount of pressure on the White House and on members of Congress right now as this debt drama plays out. A lot of that pressure is coming from lobbyists who are spending a fortune to try to influence the negotiations. Our own Lisa Sylvester has been investigating this part of the story for us. You had an excellent piece yesterday. What's the latest?
Well, if you know, lobbyists are required to register and report spending with the Senate Office of Public Records. And we now have information on the most recent quarter that ended in June. And in a 3-month period, an astonishing amount of money was spent on lobbying. And one of the biggest issues, the debt ceiling negotiations and potential fiscal cuts.
Senate lobbying disclosure records show more than 140 groups, including aircraft owners, farmers, unions, physicians, oil companies, and realtors, all lobbying to save tax breaks or prevent spending cuts. Stakeholders in the debate are spending millions. Here's what a few groups shelled out in just a 3-month period from April to June, lobbying the government on various issues, including the debt ceiling. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce, $9 million. The AARP, $4.6 million. ExxonMobil, $3.8 million. Pfizer, $3.5 million. American Bankers Association, $2.3 million. AFL-CIO, $880,000. The Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association, $730,000. And the American Farm Bureau, $560,000. The Sunlight Foundation, a government watchdog group, says there's a lot riding on the deficit negotiations.
Basically, Washington spends a lot of money. It's the biggest customer in the world. So businesses, labor unions, all kinds of other interests, they want the spending to continue.
Mary Kay Thatcher is a lobbyist with the American Farm Bureau. Farmers are staring at a potential cut in government subsidies ranging from $11 billion to $30 billion.
Well, it's tough to keep up on, and certainly we're worried about how much gets cut. We're very much for getting a whole lot closer to a balanced budget, but we'd like to only give our share and not more than our fair share.
The National Association of Realtors spent $7.1 million lobbying in the second quarter of this year. That's nearly double what they spent over the same period last year. Realtors are worried the mortgage interest deduction for homeowners could be eliminated.
If the mortgage interest deduction went away or was severely curtailed, it would just add one more level of uncertainty to an already uncertain housing market, and we likely see home prices decline even further if homeowners and home buyers couldn't take advantage of the deduction going forward.
With potentially $3 trillion in federal deficit cuts on the line, special interest groups are angling to have their say on what is in and what is out.
Now, these lobbying spending numbers are through June. Of course, in the last couple of weeks, there has been a frenzy of lobbying activity going on Capitol Hill. And the Sunlight Foundation anticipates that when the next quarterly reports come out in the fall, that they will also show a huge bump up in the amount of money spent on lobbying on this issue.
Lobbyists are only just getting started right now. Thanks very much for that, Lisa. We'll have much more on this part of the story later in the Situation Room. But right now, a chilling new warning about terror on U.S. soil.